John Carter stood at the window of his Washington, D.C. apartment, watching rain slide down the glass. His phone buzzed. The caller ID read Government Secure Line. He answered quickly. Ambassador Carter speaking. Ambassador, this is General Peters. Your presence is requested in Geneva. Immediately. The call ended before Carter could ask questions. He packed a small bag and was in a government transport within the hour. 50 years had passed since humans first made contact with alien life. 50 years of careful talks, limited trade, and keeping Earth safe from the complex politics of space. Now something had changed. Carter arrived at the United Earth Government headquarters 12 hours later. The building was busy with unusual activity. Guards checked his ID 3 times before he reached the main conference room. Inside, 5 people sat around a large table. President Olivia Martinez nodded as he entered. Ambassador Carter, thank you for coming quickly, she said. We received a formal message yesterday. Earth has been invited to join the Galactic Council. Carter took a seat, surprised. After 50 years of being kept at a distance. Why now? Director Paul Fisher from Intelligence slid a tablet across the table. Our sources suggest the invitation isn't friendly. Several council races are worried about our recent expansion to the Centauri system. They see us as moving too fast, added Defense Secretary Nancy Boyd. The council usually controls how quickly new species spread through space. Carter studied the information on the tablet. So they want us at the table to control us, not as equals. That's our belief, President Martinez confirmed. We're sending you as Earth's official representative. Your team has been selected based on the skills you'll need. A door opened, and 3 people walked in. Carter recognized Major Samantha Wright immediately. Her military record was impressive, especially her work in the Mars conflict. Major Wright will be your military advisor, said Secretary Boyd. Next came a tall man with glasses. Dr. Alan Morris, our top xenobiologist, President Martinez explained. The third team member was a woman with bright eyes. Lisa Novak, language and cultural specialist. She speaks 14 Earth languages and has studied all available council languages. Carter nodded to his new team. When do we leave? Tomorrow morning, President Martinez said firmly. The UES Harmony is being prepared for your journey. The trip to Nexus Station will take 2 weeks. Carter looked at each face around the table. And what exactly are my orders? President Martinez leaned forward. Protect Earth's interests at all costs. Ambassador, we trust your judgment. But remember, we won't accept any limits on our right to grow and explore. Carter understood the weight behind her words. This wasn't just a diplomatic mission. It was potentially the most important journey in human history. The UES Harmony slowed as it approached Nexus Station. Through the main viewport, the human delegation saw the massive structure for the first time. It looked like a giant metal flower with 8 huge petals spread wide. Each petal housed representatives from different sectors of the galaxy. It's bigger than all of New York, whispered Lisa Novak. Carter nodded. And older than human civilization. The council claims it was built over 10,000 years ago. Major Wright stood with her arms crossed. Nice place. Still don't trust them. A voice came through the ship's speakers. Human vessel UES Harmony. Follow the guide lights to docking bay 47. The ship moved slowly along a path of blinking blue lights. As they approached their assigned dock, Carter gathered his team. Remember, we represent all of humanity here. Stay alert. Trust nothing without proof. The ship docked with a soft thud. When the airlock opened, 3 aliens waited for them. The one in front had blue skin and 4 arms. It wore a silver robe with strange patterns. Ambassador Carter, the blue alien said in nearly perfect English. I am Grell Tox, junior representative of the Council Welcome Committee. These are my assistants. The alien did not offer a hand or any greeting gesture. Carter had been warned this might happen. Thank you for meeting us, Carter replied politely. Follow me, Grell Tox said. Your quarters have been prepared. As they walked through the station, The humans saw dozens of different alien species. Some looked almost human. Others were completely different. Floating gas clouds, giant insects, and things Carter couldn't even describe. Many aliens stopped to stare at the humans. Carter noticed their looks weren't friendly. "They act like we have a disease," Major Wright said quietly. Lisa listened carefully to the aliens they passed. "They're talking about us." I'm catching words like primitive and dangerous. They reached a section marked with Earth's symbol. Greltox pointed to the door. "These are your quarters. The council meets tomorrow. You will be called when needed." After Greltox left, Dr. Morris ran a scanner around the room. "We're being monitored," he said, pointing to several small devices hidden in the walls. Carter wasn't surprised. "Switch to secure comms," he ordered, activating a small device that created a bubble of privacy around them. "Did you see how they looked at us?" Lisa asked. "They don't respect us." "I overheard something concerning," Dr. Morris added. Two officials were discussing containment protocols for Earth. Carter's face darkened. "I think we know why we were invited now. They don't want to welcome us. They want to control us." Major Wright checked her hidden sidearm. "So what's our move, Ambassador?" "First, we gather information," Carter said. "We need to know exactly what they plan to vote on tomorrow." He looked at his team. "Because I'm starting to think we weren't invited to join the council. We were summoned to hear our sentence." Lisa Novak sat in the corner of their quarters, her eyes closed as she listened to the small device in her ear. Carter watched her face change from concentration to shock. "What did you find?" he asked when she finally removed the earpiece. "I tapped into their communication system," Lisa said. "My language implant is translating their main channels. Ambassador, they're afraid of us." Major Wright frowned. "Afraid? Of humans? We barely have 20 colony ships and 1 defense fleet." Lisa shook her head. "Not of our weapons. They fear how fast we learn and adapt. One speaker called us dangerously innovative and unpredictably creative." Dr. Morris looked up from his datapad. "That matches what I've been finding in the Council's public records. Humans mastered space travel in less than a century after discovering electricity. Most Council races took 5 to 10 times longer." Carter paced the room. "So they see us as moving too quickly. But that doesn't explain why they would want to contain us now." "I think I found that answer," Dr. Morris said, bringing up a holographic display. "Look at these genetic markers from various Council races. Now compare them to human DNA." The team gathered around the display. Carter wasn't a scientist, but even he could see unusual similarities. "What does this mean?" he asked. Dr. Morris's face was grave. "It means Earth was likely seeded by an elder race, possibly the founders of the Council. We were some kind of experiment, but something went wrong. We developed too quickly, in unexpected ways." "An experiment?" Major Wright's voice was tight with anger. "You're saying we were lab rats?" "More like a controlled evolution project," Dr. Morris corrected. "But yes, essentially. And now the experiment has grown beyond their expectations." Lisa looked up suddenly. "There's more. I just intercepted a military transmission. Council ships have been operating near our outer colonies for months." She plugged her device into the main display. A map appeared showing Council vessel movements around several human settlements. The pattern was clear. They were conducting surveillance. "And this is from yesterday," Lisa added, bringing up another file. "An unexplained explosion on Haven Colony killed 32 people. The Council is calling it an unfortunate accident." Major Wright's face hardened. "That's no accident. Those are targeted strikes. They're testing our defenses and our response times." Carter felt a chill. How many other accidents have happened that we didn't connect to Council activities? Major Wright accessed her secure military database. "In the past 6 months, a power grid failure on Europa Station, a navigation system malfunction that nearly crashed 2 colony ships, and 3 unexplained communication blackouts. They're already moving against us," Carter said quietly. And tomorrow they plan to make it official with these containment protocols. Dr. Morris studied his data. Based on council procedures, once they vote to contain a species, they can legally restrict our travel, limit our technology, and place monitoring stations throughout our territory. We would be prisoners in our own system, Carter said. Major Wright checked the time. We have about 72 hours before the vote. Once it passes, their ships can legally enter Earth space. Lisa's device beeped again. She listened for a moment, then looked up with wide eyes. I just intercepted a partial transmission between two council military leaders. They've already positioned ships near our solar system. As soon as the vote passes, they plan to move in and establish security checkpoints around Earth. Carter stood still, taking in the full weight of what they had discovered. Earth wasn't being invited to join the galactic community. It was being prepared for control isolation, or worse. He touched the secure communication device on his wrist. I need to contact Earth immediately. President Martinez needs to hear this. As the team prepared the secure transmission, Carter looked out at the vast station surrounding them. Just yesterday, it had seemed like a marvel of alien engineering. Now he saw it differently, as a prison being prepared for humanity. We have 3 days, he said to his team. 3 days to find a way to stop them. The secure transmission to Earth ended, and Carter sat back in his chair. President Martinez's face had gone from disbelief to anger to cold determination as she listened to their findings. The president has given us full authority to act, Carter told his team. Earth is already preparing for possible council aggression. But they need time. Our job is to delay or prevent the council vote. Major Wright leaned forward. What are our options? Carter displayed their choices on the room's main screen. First option, diplomacy. We try to convince enough council members to vote against the containment protocols. Lisa shook her head. I've been listening to their communications. Most of the powerful members already support the plan. We would need to change at least 40 votes in less than 3 days. Second option, Carter continued, we request more time. Claim we need to consult with Earth on specifics. That might buy us a few weeks, during which they could still position their ships around our system, Major Wright pointed out, and they might not grant the delay at all. Dr. Morris looked troubled. What's the third option? Carter's face was grim. We take a stand. Make it clear that Earth will not accept containment under any circumstances. That's risky, Lisa said. What if they vote anyway? Then we'll have shown our hand without gaining anything, Carter admitted. But sometimes a strong position is the only one that gets respect. The team fell silent, each considering the choices. There's a fourth option, Major Wright said finally, one the council won't expect. She touched her secure device and brought up classified military information. The others leaned in, eyes widening as they reviewed the data. Is this accurate? Carter asked, stunned. Yes, Major Wright nodded. Earth has been preparing defenses since first contact. We didn't trust the council's friendly face. This changes everything, Dr. Morris said. A message alert sounded from Lisa's communication device. She listened, then turned to the group with worry on her face. The Haven colony wasn't the only target. I just intercepted a report about 3 more accidents at our outer settlements. Over 50 people dead. Carter's hands tightened into fists. They're moving faster than we expected. He opened another secure channel to Earth. President Martinez appeared on screen, looking tired but resolute. Ambassador, we've received reports from multiple colonies. The attacks are getting worse. Madam President, we've reviewed our options, Carter said. Major Wright has shared the information about our defensive capabilities. President Martinez nodded. Then you understand what's at stake. The Council thinks we're helpless, that we'll accept their terms rather than risk conflict. What are your orders? Carter asked. The United Earth government has voted unanimously, the President said. We will not accept containment. We will not surrender our rights to exploration and self-determination. You have full authority to represent Earth's position by any means necessary. Carter understood the weight of those words. Even if it means. Even then, she confirmed. Better to face them as equals than live forever under their control. Carter, humanity trusts you to make the right call. The transmission ended. Carter turned to his team, seeing determination in their faces. We need to prepare for tomorrow's council session, he said. Lisa, continue monitoring their communications. Dr. Morris, organize all of your evidence about their attacks on our colonies. Major Wright, I need you to prepare a detailed brief on our true capabilities. And what will you do, Ambassador? Lisa asked. Carter looked out at the stars visible through their viewport. Somewhere out there, Earth was preparing for a storm. I'm going to write a speech, he said quietly. The most important speech in human history. That night, while the others slept, Carter worked alone. The words came slowly at first, then faster. By morning, he had made his decision. It wasn't the safe choice. It might not even be the right choice. But it was the only choice that gave humanity a future among the stars. Tomorrow, the Galactic Council would learn exactly what it meant to threaten the human race. #Galactic Council stunned. Human Envoy proclaims war. Part 5. The Proclamation. The council chamber was enormous. Curved rows of seats rose in a giant circle, filled with representatives from 127 different spacefaring civilizations. Some looked almost human. Others were so strange that Carter couldn't tell which part was their face. The human delegation stood in a small waiting area, watching through a transparent barrier as the chamber filled. They've seated us in the lowest position, Lisa whispered, checking the chamber map. It's meant as an insult. Major Wright adjusted her formal uniform. Are we ready for this? Carter nodded. He felt strangely calm now that the moment had arrived. Everyone knows their part. Dr. Morris, are the evidence packages prepared? Yes, Dr. Morris said. One touch on my pad will send the data to every council member's personal device. A tone sounded, and the barrier before them slid open. A voice announced, "The delegation from Earth may now enter." They walked to their assigned table, feeling the weight of hundreds of alien eyes upon them. Carter noticed many representatives leaning to whisper to their neighbors as the humans passed. At the center of the chamber stood the council speaker, a tall being with gray skin and 6 eyes arranged in a circle around its head. It wore elaborate robes covered in glowing symbols. This council is now in session, the speaker announced, its voice translated into dozens of languages simultaneously. Today we address item 127, the status of Earth and human expansion. A holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber, showing Earth and its colonies. The Council has observed human activities with growing concern, the speaker continued. Their expansion has proceeded without proper oversight. Their technology advances without proper safeguards. Today we vote on Containment Protocol 17B, which will establish controls over human space travel and technological development. The speaker turned toward the human delegation. As is our custom, the affected species may make a brief statement before the vote. Ambassador Carter, you may approach the central podium. Carter stood, straightening his jacket. Lisa squeezed his arm for encouragement. Major Wright gave a slight nod. He walked to the center of the chamber, feeling the silence press in around him. The central podium adjusted to his height as he stepped onto it. Honored representatives of the Galactic Council, Carter began, his voice steady. I come before you today with an important message from Earth. He paused, looking around at the assembled aliens. For 50 years, humanity has attempted peaceful relations with the Council. For 50 years, we have respected your boundaries and followed your rules. But today, I must inform you that this era has ended. A murmur ran through the chamber. The speaker's eyes blinked in sequence. We have discovered the truth, Carter continued. We know about the attacks on our colonies disguised as accidents. We know about your plans to restrict our growth and development. We know that some among you see humanity as an experiment that has grown out of control. The murmur grew louder. Several representatives stood in protest. "Order," demanded the speaker. "The human will continue without making unfounded accusations." Carter's voice grew stronger. "These accusations are not unfounded. Dr. Morris, please share our evidence." Dr. Morris touched his pad. Throughout the chamber, devices lit up as they received data packets containing proof of Council involvement in the colony disasters. "What you are receiving is evidence of deliberate attacks against peaceful human settlements," Carter said. "Evidence of a conspiracy to contain Earth without our consent." The chamber erupted with noise. The speaker banged a ceremonial staff on the floor, calling for order. When the noise reduced, Carter spoke again, his voice now carrying an edge that silenced the chamber completely. "In light of these unprovoked acts of aggression, I have been authorized to deliver this message. Earth formally declares war against any civilization that attempts to restrict human sovereignty or movement through space." Complete silence fell across the chamber. Even the speaker seemed frozen in shock. "To be clear," Carter said into the stillness, "humanity does not wish for conflict. But we will not accept chains, no matter how prettily they are disguised as protection." The silence broke into chaos. #Galactic Council stunned. Human Envoy proclaims war. Part 6. The revelation. The council speaker banged its staff repeatedly on the floor. The chaos in the chamber slowly settled into a tense quiet. "This is outrageous," shouted a representative from the Xeraxian Empire, a powerful council member. "Humans dare to threaten the council. They have barely left their own star system." Carter remained calm at the podium. "Dr. Morris, please share your findings about human origins." Dr. Morris stepped forward, activating a large holographic display. It showed complex genetic sequences and ancient star maps. "Honorable council members," Dr. Morris began, "my research shows that humans were not a natural evolution. Our DNA contains markers that match those of the elder races who founded this council 10,000 years ago." The display shifted to show side-by-side comparisons of genetic patterns. "Earth was an experiment," he continued. "We were meant to develop slowly, under your careful watch. But something went wrong with your plan. We evolved faster than expected. We became more creative, more innovative than you intended." A wave of uncomfortable shifting spread through the council chamber. Several of the older species exchanged worried glances. "The most interesting part," Dr. Morris added, "is what we found in the ruins on Mars. Ancient technology left behind by your observers. Technology we have studied and now understand." This caused more commotion. A representative with tentacles instead of arms stood up. "Impossible. Those observation posts were completely wiped when the project was abandoned." Carter smiled slightly. The alien had just confirmed everything. "Not completely," Carter said. "And humans are very good at solving puzzles. Major Wright, please show the council our military readiness." Major Wright stepped forward with confident strides. She touched her pad, and the holographic display changed to show Earth's defense systems. "For 50 years, she said in a clear voice, Earth has been preparing. While officially we have only one defense fleet, the truth is quite different." The display showed ships hidden in asteroid fields, bases concealed on moons and planets throughout the solar system, and advanced weapon systems that made several council members gasp. "We've been watching you watching us," Major Wright explained. "Every probe you sent, we tracked. Every spy ship, we monitored. And we learned from each one." Lisa joined her colleagues at the podium. "We've also established colonies beyond your monitoring range," she added. "Places you don't know about, where humanity can survive even if Earth falls." The council chamber had grown very quiet. The speaker's 6 eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of stress in its species. "How?" the speaker finally asked. "How could primitives achieve this level of development without detection?" Carter stepped forward again. "Because you underestimated us. You expected obedience. You expected fear. Instead, humanity prepared for this day from the moment we learned we weren't alone in the universe." He touched a control on the podium. and a new image appeared above them. A massive fleet of ships hidden in deep space, bearing Earth's symbol. "This is the truth," Carter said firmly. "Earth does not want war. We never have. All we want is the freedom to grow, to explore, to determine our own future." He looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes, stalks, or sensory organs of the representatives. "We know that many of you voted for containment out of fear, not hatred. You've been told that humans are dangerous, unpredictable. And in some ways, that's true. But we're also curious, compassionate, and willing to cooperate as equals." Carter's voice grew stronger. "That is the choice before you today. Not whether to contain us, because that is no longer possible, but whether to accept us as partners or face us as enemies." The chamber remained silent, but it was a different kind of silence now. The shock and outrage had given way to something else. Respect, and in many cases, fear. The most powerful members of the council huddled together, speaking in urgent whispers. The future of galactic relations hung in the balance. Carter stood tall, waiting. He had revealed humanity's hand. Now they would see if it was enough to change the course of history. #Galactic Council stunned. Human Envoy proclaims war. Part 7. The Ultimatum. The council speaker raised its staff for attention. The chamber grew quiet again. "Ambassador Carter," the speaker said, its voice now less certain. "These claims are troubling. The council must verify this information before proceeding." Carter nodded. "Of course. But while you verify, I would like to present Earth's terms." "Terms." The speaker's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. "You speak as if you have leverage." "We do," Carter replied simply. He touched his communicator. "Harmony. Execute protocol on." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the chamber's lights flickered. The main holographic display changed without anyone controlling it. Every screen in the room showed the same message. "Human access granted." Gasps and shouts filled the chamber. The council's supposedly unbreakable security systems had just been compromised. "Another demonstration of our capabilities," Carter explained calmly. "Lisa has spent the last 2 days accessing your networks. We can now reach every system on this station." The speaker gripped its staff tightly. "This is an act of aggression." "No," Carter corrected. "This is a negotiation tactic. If we wanted aggression, we would have shut down your life support systems instead of just accessing your displays." The chamber grew very quiet. Carter had their full attention now. "Here are Earth's terms," he continued. "First, Earth will be granted full membership in the Council with equal rights and voting privileges. No restrictions, no special oversight." He paused to let that sink in. Several representatives looked ready to object, but none spoke. "Second, the Council will provide reparations for the attacks on our colonies. The families who lost loved ones deserve justice." Carter touched his pad, and a new image appeared on the screens. A map showing Council ships positioned near Earth. "Third, these ships will be withdrawn immediately. Any military vessel approaching Earth space without permission will be considered a hostile act." The representatives from the major military powers shifted uncomfortably in their seats. "Fourth, humanity will continue to expand and develop at our own pace. We will share our advancements with Council races who treat us as equals." Carter looked directly at the speaker. "Finally, we require your answer within 24 hours. Earth is prepared for either outcome." "You threaten war if we do not meet these demands," asked a representative from a powerful empire. Carter shook his head. "Not a threat. A reality. If the Council chooses conflict, we are ready. If it chooses cooperation, we will be valuable allies." To emphasize his point, he activated one more display. It showed the positions of previously hidden human ships, now revealed to be near several important Council worlds. "These vessels have been in position for months," Major Wright explained. "They carried no weapons until yesterday, when we received authorization to arm them." The message was clear. Humans could strike at the heart of the Council if necessary. Lisa stepped forward, holding up her communication device. "I'm receiving urgent messages from at least 30 council races," she told Carter, loud enough for others to hear. "They wish to discuss our terms privately." This caused even more commotion. Smaller council members were already breaking ranks, looking to secure their own relationships with Earth. The speaker banged its staff for order. "This is highly irregular. The council must discuss this as one body." "With respect," Carter replied. "The council has had 50 years to discuss humanity's place in the galaxy. You've done so behind our backs while plotting to contain us. Now we're setting the timetable." He looked around the chamber one more time. 24 hours. Full membership with equal rights, or Earth stands alone. Free and prepared. With that, Carter nodded to his team. They turned and walked toward the exit, leaving stunned silence behind them. As they reached the door, the station's lights flickered again, a reminder of the human capacity to affect the council even in its most secure location. The message was clear. The humans had come prepared, and they would not be easily dismissed. #Galactic Council stunned. Human Envoy proclaims war. Part 8. The New Era. 23 hours after delivering Earth's ultimatum, Carter and his team were called back to the council chamber. They entered to find the room quieter than before. Many representatives looked tired, as if they had argued through the night. The speaker stood at the center, its robes less orderly than the day before. "Ambassador Carter," the speaker began, "the council has deliberated on Earth's proposal. This situation has no precedent in our 20,000-year history." Carter nodded but said nothing. He had learned that silence was often the strongest position. After extensive debate, the speaker continued, "The council has reached a decision. By a vote of 89 to 38, with 12 abstentions, we accept the terms presented by Earth." A murmur ran through the chamber. Some representatives looked angry, others relieved. Carter kept his face neutral, though inside he felt a wave of relief. Earth would not have to fight today. "There are, however, conditions," the speaker added. "We request a gradual integration process. Full membership will be granted immediately, but Earth representatives must undergo training in council procedures." "Reasonable," Carter agreed, "as long as we have equal voting rights from the start." "You will," the speaker confirmed. "Additionally, a joint committee will investigate the colony incidents and determine fair reparations." Major Wright stepped forward. "We will provide all our evidence. The investigations must be transparent." The speaker's eyes blinked in agreement. "Finally, we propose a technology exchange program between willing council races and Earth. If humans are to be part of this community, we should learn from each other." "Earth welcomes this," Carter said. "Knowledge should flow in both directions." The speaker banged its staff on the floor 3 times. "Then it is done. Earth is now a full member of the Galactic Council. The containment vote is canceled." Throughout the chamber, representatives began talking among themselves. Some approached the human delegation, eager to establish relationships with the newest council member. An older alien with crystalline skin came to Carter. "I am Ambassador Krell of the Mendara Confederation. We voted in your favor. The council needs new perspectives, even challenging ones." "Thank you, Ambassador," Carter replied. "Earth looks forward to working with the Mendari." More representatives came forward, some offering friendship, others clearly assessing the new power balance. The Zarexian representative stayed away, his displeasure obvious. As the formal session ended, Carter gathered his team in a quiet corner. "We did it," Lisa said, her voice showing relief. "I didn't think they would actually agree." Dr. Morris nodded. "They're practical. When faced with our capabilities, war made no sense." "Don't celebrate too quickly," Major Wright warned. "Some of them will never accept us as equals. They'll just find subtler ways to work against us." "That's politics," Carter said with a slight smile. "On Earth or in space, some things don't change. But we've won something important today. Humanity has a seat at the table, and the freedom to chart our own course. 3 weeks later, Carter stood at the observation deck of Nexus Station, watching as the first official Earth embassy ship docked. Unlike the small diplomatic vessel they had arrived in, this was a proper embassy ship, large and impressive. Lisa joined him at the viewport. Earth is sending a permanent delegation of 50 people. Scientists, diplomats, cultural experts. Carter nodded. And I hear you're staying on as chief translator. Someone needs to keep an eye on council communications, she said with a smile. Major Wright and Dr. Morris approached, both wearing new uniforms with council membership insignia alongside Earth's symbol. The defensive fleet is standing down from high alert, Major Wright reported. But we're keeping the hidden ships in position, just in case. Wise, Carter agreed. He looked out at the stars beyond the station. This is just the beginning. The real work starts now. Dr. Morris followed his gaze. Building trust will take time. Some races still fear us. They should, Carter said quietly. Not because we want war, but because we'll never accept chains. That's the lesson of this week. Humanity will find its own path among the stars. As Earth's new embassy ship completed its docking procedure, Carter felt both pride and concern for the future. They had won a place for humanity in the galaxy. Now they had to prove they deserved it. A new era had begun.